All right, welcome back. This is my video where I'm going to talk about the Construct a Town project. We talked about it a little bit last time, but let me go over it one more time for you. So today, you are going to start your project. We're going to do some brainstorming. Your groups are going to be 2 to 4 people, no more than 4 people, ideally 3 people. You're going to make a town using a compass and straight edge. You can, it says only, but you can freehand some stuff, but make sure you include all of the constructions. So there are 7 constructions. Here's the constructions that you're using. The equilateral triangle and the 45 and 30-degree angles you don't have to include, but you can. Each person in the group needs to do each of the 7. So that means if there are 3 people in your group and each person has to do each of the 7, that is 21 constructions you're looking for. If there's 4 people, that's 28. If there's 2 people, there's 14. Each of you has to do each of them. You can't have one person doing all the segment copies and one person doing all the segment bisectors. You can't do it that way. So you all have to try each of them. Now, to prove that you did that, you have to leave your construction markings, make sure people can see them, and label them with your initials. So for instance, like perpendicular bisector ends up looking roughly something like this, and you connect these together. So you would have to write your leave that and write your initials beside it. So like Mr. B. There we go. So something like that. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So you're doing that for all those constructions. Your town needs a name, needs a location. It can be fictional. It can be nonfiction. So it can be real. It can be from a book. It can be a TV show, a movie. You can make it up. Some people have picked buildings from all their favorite TV shows. Like they use like Hawkins Lab from Stranger Things. SpongeBob's house and his pineapple they use like Quickie Mart from like The Simpsons and stuff like that. So do what you want to do. You need to incorporate all of these things into your town so we can call it a functional town. I made these pretty vague on purpose because I want you to be creative. So a learning center, where do people go to learn things? It can be a school, it can be an academy, it can be a university, a college, it can be a dojo where people learn martial arts, like if you want to do like the Hidden Leaf Village in Naruto if you want, I don't care. 5 domiciles, that's a fancy word for a place where people live. That's it. You cannot do an apartment building with 5 windows and say that that's where all 5 people live. That's not 5 different ones. It needs to be 5 separate buildings. You need one market. By market, I mean place where people can go to buy, sell, or trade stuff. It can be a grocery store, a mall, a supermarket, a trading post, whatever. Fine with that. One community building, meaning one place where people go to meet people that don't live with them. It can be a town hall. It can be a courthouse. It can be a church. It can be a prison, for instance. So any of those will work as a community building. You need one medical facility. Where do you go when you get a boo-boo? That's about it. So it can be a vet if you want to do that instead of like a medical facility for people. It can be for animals. I don't care. That's fine. But a medical facility can be a nurse. It can be a hospital. It can be a doctor's office. It can be a clinic. You cannot just say, oh, my mall, my giant super mall includes a clinic. It has to be a separate building from the rest of the stuff. So you can't double dip. Nice try. One place of work. Again, you can't just say a mall counts as a market and a community building and a place of work. You need a separate one. So if you use a mall for your market, you need a place of work for somebody else. Where do people go to make money and make a living? You need streets to connect all the structures together. So you need a structure for all those and then streets to connect them all together. Please don't make it like super blocky. Make it be creative. You need to label each construction. I talked about that. Do not erase construction marks. I need to see it. You need to show color. There shouldn't be a lot of white space. And you guys are going to pick your teams. It's going to be 3 or 4 people. If you can't pick a team, I will place you on a team. So please just include everybody. I'd appreciate that. And again, you guys are going to be grading each other's. There will be an appeal process, so don't freak out. But this will be the rubric people are using to grade, and you guys have this paper already. Paper looks like this. You guys have it. You picked it up last time. There's extra copies here if you need it. It's also linked in Schoology if you want to check it out. So here's your objectives for today. Here's what I want accomplished. So this is an example of the one I was talking about that incorporates different buildings from different shows. So Quickie Mart, SpongeBob. This was Stranger Things. I don't know what these are actually. Dunder Mifflin Paper Company. I forget what General Hospital's from, and I forget what's it say? Elmore Junior High. I'm not sure what that is. Teen Titans Tower is there. So this is just an example of one. This isn't a perfect example, but it is a good example. And again, notice that people did draw on a piece of printer paper, made all their constructions, then colored it, then taped it on. Make sure all of it's going to fit on a paper. These are kind of hanging off. but we'll talk about that more next time. Here's your objectives today. Choose your group and group members. Create a theme. So what do you want your town to look like? What do you want it to be about? And then create a rough sketch. You don't need to use a compass. You don't need to color it. You don't need to use a straight edge. Basically, I just want a piece of paper. And on that piece of paper, I want you to put, okay, here's where the building is for the school. Here's where my 5 houses are going to be. Here's where my community building is going to be. So just make an outline for it, connect everything together with roads. That's all I'm really looking for that. So come up with a theme, a sketch, and then you're going to complete the construction project brainstorm Google form, which is linked in Schoology. So can you see this? I don't think so. Let me go ahead and share that with you. Here it is. Pop up here in a second. Sorry about that. So I put in random stuff here. Let me clear the form. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the first and last name for everybody in your group. So remember, this is 2 to 4 people. So blah, 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 first and last name. You're going to choose your block. You're going to click next. You're going to tell me what's your theme. So I'm going to put something random in here so we can see the next slide. Tell me what's your learning center. So what's the learning center that's included on this paper? So just going to cover the stuff on this paper. 5 domiciles, your market, your community building, and so on. You're going to do this for all these. So you're going to tell me how are you incorporating it into your town? What are you going to do for it? How are you going to meet the criteria on here for the different buildings? That's all you're doing here. And on the last slide, you are going to take a picture with your Chromebook of your sketch, and you're going to upload it here. So think about drawing roads to connect the structures. Think about where you're going to put your buildings, and consider where you're going to incorporate your 7 different types of constructions. Okay. Anyway, that's all I got for you. This is what you're accomplishing today. So one more time, in case you missed it, let me switch to this. You are going to pick your group members, choose a theme, make a sketch, and then you're going to do the brainstorm Google form. Okay. And lastly, your homework is to choose one of these. If you did one of these last time, pick a different one. So the constructions worksheet is in the back of the room at my desk. You can also print it. It's on Schoology. You can create 4 of each construction, or you can do a piece of artwork that incorporates all of them. Has to have color. Don't erase your construction marks. So if you picked the artwork last time, you got to pick one of these 2. If you picked one of these 2 last time, you got to pick one of these 2. Okay, so can't do the same thing twice. Anyway, that's all you're doing today. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.